Hello. Today is Thursday, December 19th, 2024. This is the Sideshow. I'm Theodore Parker coming to you from Lexington, Kentucky, USA. Today, the weather here in Lexington is going to be mostly cloudy, highs in the low 40s and lows in the mid 30s. Snow likely Friday morning. Temperatures are a little lower than yesterday here, down by 9 degrees. Currently, the temperature is 36 and feels like 32. Just a reminder, Saturday is the official start of winter on the calendar, although we have been experiencing the meteorological winter already. So, winter is coming. Sunrise today here on the East Coast was at 7:49 a.m. Sunset will be at 5:20 p.m. The wind today will be about 5 miles per hour, and the AQI is moderate at 63. Again, this is a Sideshow. I'm Theodore Parker. If you're watching, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm coming on today to put out some friendly reminders for 2024 as we close out this year. And those are pertaining to our health, both physical and mental, and our general well-being. So, here we go. Water. Drink your water. Rule of thumb is that urine should be clear to pale yellow to make sure that you are getting enough water. And then exercise. We have a whole lot of people that are advocating for exercise, and it depends on your own age, level of fitness already, what activities you prefer, what activities you enjoy. I would suggest, as always, before starting something that you are not familiar with, to check with your physician to make sure that it's okay and suitable for you. Just some small things. If you choose walking, which is the easiest one to get started with, whether it's at home with a video or outside with a friend. If you can walk and talk, then you've got your own level. That's considered to be good. If you can walk and talk, that's considered to be good. Exploring a few other options. Tai Chi, and a few people are familiar with that. And that can range from anywhere from an 8-minute Tai Chi exercise to the full 24 movements. And it's considered beneficial because it's low impact. The movements are gentle. Any age group, male or female, can participate. You can probably find instructors, that will be willing to teach you. To a certain degree, you can go online, but I would suggest that you get a better benefit and understanding if you have someone there to instruct you on how to do it. And then diet. All along I've been using the rule of thumb that we have here in this country of 2,000 calories a day, and trying to keep a little journal, not being too hard on yourself, of just what you eat and the calorie count for each item, and see where you would fit in, whether you were above or below that 2,000 calorie guideline. And the reason for that is the extra 500 calories per day will put on a pound a week. The same way, if you reverse the process, take off 500 calories a day, once you know what your intake is, then you will lose roughly a half to a pound a week. So those are just things that I wanted to put back out there that I've covered this year. A couple of phrases I've used off and on. It's progress, not perfection, so we don't beat up on ourselves too much about it. And the other thing is, we all like to look good, feel good, etc., etc. It's just like when you buy a new outfit, you're thinking that you're going to look good in it. And number two, you're thinking that you're going to get a compliment about it. So my suggestion was that if you're interested in losing weight, to buy an outfit that would be one size smaller than the one that you're currently wearing, and motivate yourself to fit into it. But there's no hard and fast rule as to how fast you will be able to do that or how slow you'll be able to do it, but just keep at it. So since we're entering into the holidays, we know those tables are going to be loaded with good food. We just went through Thanksgiving for turkey. Christmas usually adds a ham to that. Some people do serve turkey and ham or just ham, and all the side dishes that go with it. So I've encouraged you to vary your diet. When you go in the supermarket, to try one new thing that you haven't tried before, just to keep your taste buds rotating. If you're a breakfast person, cold cereal, hot cereal, there's so many selections on the shelf that you can just try one. And the way things are today, people being conscious of time, most of them in preparation are time sensitive, so it doesn't take you all day to have a breakfast. The same way with your evening meal, you can vary that, corn on the cob, sweet corn in the can, whatever strikes your fancy. Just keep your taste buds guessing. I know when you look at other countries outside of the United States, and I'm not picking on the Asian community, but because I did serve time on Okinawa when I was in the military, then I'm kind of familiar with that. And since at the time, I had not lived any place else other than the city where I went to school at, it was like brand new. So I kind of like absorbed it. So now I'm more familiar, I've learned more. So I know that the Asian community has divided itself, Koreans, they kind of favor their kimchi. The Japanese are known for their Kobe beef. Chinese have their own things. I was first introduced to a Chinese dish called dim sum, which is like a little roll with meat stuffed in it. And I always thought that was, the dim sum. And I enjoyed it, and from time to time I find it again. Over time, I've learned that dim sum is like a generic term, and it comes in assortments. So you can even buy a package of dim sum that will have like 6 pieces in it, all of them shaped and made differently. It's just like us in this country asking, would you like to have dessert? So, and then you go on from there, whether it's Vietnam or the Philippines or whatever the case may be. I know breakfast in the Philippines can really be a bowl of cold vegetables. So we just look at other communities and other cultures and see how they do things. This year we had the Olympics in France. That was a brand new experience for everybody, just listening to what was going on. The people that actually were able to attend, I'm sure that they explored the dishes that France had to offer, but in a generic sense and in general conversation, French pastries, Swiss chocolate, you go to South America, Colombian coffee, and I know all of us at some time or point in time have been to a Mexican restaurant. So we share the foods of the world. They're available for us. We do have options. Thai people favor curry. That's a little spicy. So, there's no end to what we can explore as far as food and our taste buds. It's just be conscious of your portions, and again, this is one of those holidays where if it's a big family event, you're going to find those things that you like to have seconds on. And if it's enough, they're going to tell you to take some with you and so forth and so on. These are the holidays. And then fast food has even advanced itself to the point where there is a calorie count on its food items. And most of us will agree that McDonald's is almost, everywhere in the world except maybe Russia. And that's their business. And then leaving that for a moment, on the Tai Chi, the most familiar, the one that people are most exposed to and most familiar with is called the Yang style, but there also is a Wu and a Qin, and a Wu style. So that's just, a footnote on that. Other adjustments. We have a tendency sometimes to say always and never, especially in conversations with people. And usually there's like, well, you always, and then there's some type of thing, subject matter put on that. And it's usually, sad to say, kind of like an accusatory tone to that, or you never, and then the subject goes on with that. So a mental adjustment could be, instead of always, you could substitute the word oftentimes or usually, and the same way with never, oftentimes or usually. And then that kind of changes the tone of things, because we don't want to get into feeling that things are carved in stone, And my example of that is yesterday, you learned something. I'm quite sure everybody will agree that yesterday you learned something you didn't know before. So that's an ongoing process. Every day you get up, you're going to hear something you didn't know, learn something you didn't know, and that's how it is. So it's no reason to think that, you reach a level and then that's where everything stops. It does not happen like that. So just be conscious of putting ourselves in a corner by saying always or never in our conversation. Oftentimes or usually allows for continued growth and adjustment. And then for a small comparison as to how we can be different or how things can be different, those of you that are familiar with houseplants may be familiar with the philodendron, and for those of you that are not, it's that green plant with the big leaves and the red splash of color in the center of the leaf, and it's usually looking real attractive and everything. And then you have that, and then you have a cactus. Both of them are plants. Both of them can be grown in the home, but the two entirely different ways of taking care of them. The same way if you're in the construction building or whatever, you have a pile of bricks that has to be moved. You could try to pick them up in your arms and hands and take them to where they need to be. But usually you put them in a wheelbarrow and wheel them over to where they have to be. So we have to always be adjusting our perspective, so that you don't get stuck, you don't give up, Again, the famous story of the tortoise and the hare. So those are just a few of my reminders for 2024 as we close out the year. I hope you're able to get some benefit from all of that. And keep at it. So, going to our top stories for today, December 19th, Thursday, 2024. Number one, RFK Jr. has accused the FDA of suppressing hydroxychloroquine. Now, the study that suggests its use in COVID is retracted. Number two, Teamsters begin largest strike against Amazon. Next one, GOP senator slams ridiculous attempt to avert government shutdown. Merry Christmas, American taxpayer. Tucker Carlson's influence grows as he helped kill possible defense secretary's nomination, so the report says. U.S. begins to retaliate against China over hack of telecom networks. Continuing with the top stories, Putin says West air defenses have no chance against Russian ballistic missile. Next one, very wrong. Elon Musk case sparks calls for reform after judge awarded massive judgment for lawyer fees. This is one of those things that weaves back and forth related to Tesla stock and who should get what, and Elon Musk wanting money for his position in the company and so forth and so on. Democrats, we won't go back. Also, Democrats, forget AOC. Let's go back immediately. Opinion. This kind of rolls off of a ranking member position that AOC was up for, Alexandria Alexandria, and also another person, but that person got the position. So that's a short explanation of that. Next one, as Trump makes fresh threats against Liz Cheney, Republican senators look the other way. And number 10 of the top stories for today, philanthropist Mackenzie Scott reveals another $2 billion in donations in 2024. So there you have it. Again, I'm Theodore Parker. This is The Sideshow. That's it. #.